Hello people and welcome to the Netherlands Grand Prix here at Zandvoort. I hope you are having a brilliant day and hope you are doing alright. Welcome back to the DFL and today we have George on pole position. If you haven't watched Quali, go check it out, give it a like, subscribe if you are new and tap that little bell so you don't miss another video because we got highlights coming tomorrow if you prefer to watch that, but if you want to watch this, stick around because we love to have you. But anyway, George on pole position here today. Peter in P2, Noah in P3 and Ian in P4. No Jamie today unfortunately because he fell asleep after work, didn't wake up in time, and it is what it is. Nevertheless, it is, you know, we mind it. But we have a formation lap here today, and what an interesting race we could have. But I would like to just say, I am on my own today, so please do bear with me. I could probably have hiccups or whatever happen in this. Might also need a drink, so you might have some silent moments, but I promise it's not because I've disappeared. It's just because I'm just dealing with myself and my own issues for a second. But anyway, today people, hopefully will be a lot more of an interesting race than last time out was. I mean, last time was just, I don't even know what it was. It was something else. If you didn't check it out, go watch Netherlands in Season 5. It was, and I'm really gonna, promote it to you guys here, the most single boring race I've ever experienced in the DFL, I think. 2 overtakes in the entire race happened. We had 3 drivers, and I thought it was really going to be competitive. Noah shot off with some insane setup, and Preston and Callum were just chilling, were vibing, and that's fine. But there was no overtakes. Callum got the first 2 overtakes on the AIs just straight away. It was something else. So hopefully today it's a little more interesting. But of course we have the 2 RBs lining up in front row. Noah in Merc behind him and Ian in the Haas just behind him. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the Netherlands Grand Prix. Who gets a better start? Noah pulls up into P2 straight away. No waiting for no one. He is straight up there with the action. Will Peter be able to respond? Potentially. Will Ian be able to gain on Peter? That's going to be an interesting question. But I'm going to focus right here on the 2 RBs with Noah in between them. How is this going to play out? Will George potentially help Peter get in front? I don't know how it could happen, but team plays could happen today. It's like, this is genuinely like last season all over again, where you had the Saubers versus Noah the whole time, basically. Here we are, though, for the Netherlands Grand Prix, and Peter's tried it! I think there's almost wheel contact out. From my camera angle, it looked like he spun her out, but I don't think he did. He got insanely lucky not to spin him out there, because that could have been a, early potential penalty, but, who knows. But anyway, George leading this race so far, 7/10 of a second in front of Noah. Will Noah be able to gain on him, or will he slowly get away from Noah just like Peter was last time? We'll see what happens, but I'm interested in this battle. Will Peter go for it here? His battery is getting exhausted. George sets a 116.78a. Peter tries it, but Noah cuts him off. A little bit of a drift there from Peter, but Noah manages to hold him off just for now. How will this be answered though? 3/10 of a second now between them. Ian slowly dropping off, 1 second behind Peter. But nevertheless, Ian will have to put a little bit more work in catching up potentially, or he'll just chill and vibe. We'll see what happens. But 5/10 of a second now between Peter and Noah. 7/10 between Noah and George. Noah is keeping up with George. He is not letting him get away. The fact that Noah also has overtake mode will make this a lot more interesting. But the fact he also has to defend from Peter, George's own teammate, is going to be a potential killer here for today for Noah. So we'll see what happens. Currently at a 60% battery. George insanely at 82%. Although he's not on the normal setting everyone else is on. He's on he's got his battery set like the old one where he literally just has to press it. It's not 113.250 here. That is just how insanely quick George's. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but the fact that George has it on that setting and is still getting away from Noah is utterly insane. But let's drop down here, because Peter is gaining on Noah here. 0.4 of a second separate them. Will Peter potentially be able to go for the overtake here? He has a purple sector one, so he will be going for it here. 0.3 of a second separate him. Noah doing all he can to fend him off here. Noah also, that's actually something we should discuss, is the fact that everyone else is practically on the softs except Peter on the mediums and a few of the AIs on the hards. So we're going for, a few different strategies here today. Peter could not get that done right there. Sorry, I was completely losing my words there. Could not get the move done there. But Peter being the only one on mediums is quite interesting. Potentially a bit of strategy going on between the teammates. So we'll see what happens. But the straight is on here. Peter, he is going for it. I think on the outside. And he does it. He gets it. Round the outside of Noah. And he has it. Nicely done by Peter there. Noah's definitely going to say, that was the inside, you idiot. I know, Noah, I apologise. I'm still learning, okay? I should have learned about, 4 seasons ago, but I still haven't figured it out. I need to watch more F1. But anyway, Noah's at the back of Peter here, wanting to reclaim that P2 position. Will he be able to do it? The fact he is on those softs is going to make Noah the quicker driver out to him. But Noah cannot push his tyres too much, otherwise that will be calling for an absolute early pit stop, potentially. And my window just got shut because I'm shouting and my mum's annoyed. That's just brilliant, nicely done. Peter, though, 2.5 seconds off of George here. 0.5 of a second has Noah behind him. Will Noah potentially go for it here? It's gonna get interesting. 0.6, 0.5. It's slowly sort of, I can't even say it's gaining really. It's that close. But Peter has also flicked his ERS battery mode. Is that the strategy here today for Peter and George? Get into sort of clean air, flick your battery onto the old setting and just glide and wait for Noah to use up his tyres. Go for the early pit stop and give RB the advantage of that massive gap potentially. We shall see what happens here today, people. It's only lap number 5 of 36. We still have 31 laps left to go. I think, yeah, that is correct. 31. There we go. Physically just got there, apparently. Ian P4, currently quite the way off Noah. He will have to do a lot of work to gain back, but I'm sure he will. But Noah still sticking at the back of Peter here with the straight line mode on. Overtake mode visible as well. But Noah just not being able to find any way past Peter. As I said, I think, Peter's strategy right now is let Noah get close, let him use up his tyres, sprint away with your battery, because your battery, you're going to have more than Noah either way, especially for the straight. Just shoot with your battery. Look at Noah, his light is flickering. He's obviously waiting for Peter to, Peter's light to flicker, but that light, unless Peter really pushes it and goes to harvest mode, that light ain't going to flicker whatsoever this race. Because Peter will just be gliding, and it is working. 6 attempts, 5 the gap is staying, but Noah is just not being able to find that way past. 0.3 of a second now. He's really pushing it, but I do not think, whilst Peter's got this potential, no, to be fair, Peter's battery is drained at 30% now. Noah's though, drained to 20%. It's like their batteries are almost sort of similar in a way, but somehow, obviously Peter has that advantage of not using his battery all the time, which Noah doesn't have. Noah's battery is just draining like no tomorrow, as the race have sadly done to the battery this season, but nevertheless it is what it is. But basically, there you go, 3 seconds now separate P1 and P2. George is absolutely gliding this race. It's just like a free race for him. Going for those points for the team, potentially. If they were, to get, obviously, George could get the 27 points here today. Peter could get the 18 points here today. I cannot do maths, so I'm going to quickly do maths. 27 plus 18 is 45. I believe it is a gap of just under 30. But Noah gets P3. So it should just keep Merc if it was to stay like this at the top of the Constructors Championship here today. But if Noah were to drop off, then we could be seeing quite the change here today. I mean, even the Drivers' Championship. You have to think of the Drivers' Championship. How will that affect it? I'm just getting the table up now. So give me 1 second here, people. But George and Peter sit at 4th and 5th. They're on 27 points each. Another 27. I don't think that gains them up to Noah. No, it doesn't. But it would put them within reaching distance. No, to be fair, George would be within touching distance. Peter would be just a little bit shorter. But either way, that puts both the RBs in a very good position for this Drivers' Championship this season early on. And that's what they will be hoping for. Especially for the fact that both of them are unsure about turning up to either or race this whole season. So every chance they have this season, they have to take. It's simple as. But now 1.2 seconds separates Peter and Noah here. Even with Peter, Peter and George are just gliding. I think George has underfueled his car as well. Something just tells me he's in the minuses there. Maybe just the yellow light there, potentially, maybe, But Peter and George they're just gliding. Their battery is not deploying all the time, as I said before. Whilst I believe Noah is at a major disadvantage because Peter can just say, oh, you're gaining. No, I'm shooting off a bit. And whilst Noah's battery is dead because he's just caught up to Peter, Peter still has 100% of his battery and can shoot off for miles. George and Peter are in front. We could be seeing another Season 5 race where there is simply only one overtake this entire race. I hope not. I would really hope not, but it's a potential. But Ian now has the AIs on him. Is he on that setting as well? He is. Why? Well, all 3 drivers today, not all 3, 3 out of 4 drivers going on the old setting for their ERS. Is this the new strat potentially for these drivers to, go on this and see, see if this, if this can improve their times? Because if they get in front, as Ian is now, I mean, look at these. Well, to be fair, the AIs manage their batteries quite well, but if Ian wanted to shoot off, as he's doing right now, he very much can. We may legitimately see another Season 5 Netherlands here. This may be the curse of Netherlands to have a boring race, and I don't want to tell you from watching today, so please don't turn it off because I'm sure it will get exciting. But at the minute, with 4 drivers in this, there is no overtakes possible, and it is maddening to me how we can once again come around to this track and have the sort of same situation that we had last time. However, George with the early pit, lap 9 here today. Will Noah follow him in? Noah does follow him in here, both on softs pitting. Will Ian do it as well? Ian pits as well. Peter is out in front in P1 position for the first time this race. George will drop to P6, P7, P8, P9. Will it be under 10? I think it will, because that's Piastri. No, it won't be. Yes, it will. No, it won't. George just gets out in front of Piastri. That's P9. Goes up, potentially almost to P8. But the challenge is there. Noah down in P14 here. Ian still in the pits. What took him so long? Did he have wing damage or something? I have no idea. But we are going to pop right up because Noah and George are battling their way through the AI. I don't know how I'm going to keep an eye on both, but
get out of the way.
Round the outside, I believe. Again, Noah's going to come for my throat if I get it wrong, potentially. But he's up to P12 here. He is up there, and George now to P6 potentially. 1.9 seconds off. Will he go for it? well, no, he won't go for it because he's still got, you know, potentially big gap to go. I'm getting warned off being too loud here for once. It is maddening. But anyway, Peter is now in the pits as well. P4, well no, P3 dropping to P4, potentially P5. Will it be further down? I mean, some of the AIs are pitting here. Noah will rise up ahead of Peter. It's gonna be close. But I think Noah just sneaks it ahead of Peter. We're gonna see this battle reignited once again, people. But Noah round the outside of Carlos Sainz there to get that P5 position. Nicely done. Peter also pulls the same round the inside, I think, and up to P6. It looks like these two are going to be battling away potentially in a moment's time. But George now up to P2 here. 0.2 of a second off of George Russell. Will he go for it? His ERS, he does not have ERS, not right now. It's funny because I can actually say, you know, anyway, you get my point. Round the inside, could not make it work there. He's gonna, no, that's actually the outside, ain't it? That's the inside. I've been getting it confused the entire time. Noah's gonna kill me. I just know it. I'm sorry, Noah. I apologise. George has flicked back round the inside. And he's overtaken Verstappen up to P1 here as Russell also pits. Noah now potentially going to overtake his teammate whilst Peter is trying round the inside. Potentially can't make it work. Now will he try it? No, he has to back off unfortunately here. But he goes almost into the back of Noah. Unfortunate not to hit. Well, fortunate, sorry, not unfortunate. Fortunate not to hit him. Lucky escape if I do say so myself. But we are going to concentrate on this battle because this is the main battle right here. The drivers. But Noah's battery is completely depleted here. Which leaves him in the most vulnerable state he can possibly be in. Peter is right on the back of him here. Chasing him round. Will he potentially be able to look for it? His battery is 78%. Noah's only at 6% here. He's also on the other setting here. All the drivers flicking around, but a little slip out there by Peter will lose him the time there. As Noah gains on Norris here, he'll be looking, and he will get the overtake mode here. As that flicks on, George with a 112.803. Driving up, will Noah get it here? Round the outside, potentially. I think he's going to go for it, but no, Norris holds him off, but not good enough. Noah round the outside here and gets the overtake up to P3. Peter will look to do the same thing here. But he couldn't, but round the inside, up to P4. Nicely done by Peter there to get up to P4 position. But Noah up to P3, George back up to P1, even Ian is slowly making his way back up the grid. We could see this grid reformed once again potentially. Ian has a bit of work, a bit of, you know, I can't think of a word, but you get what I mean. He's got a lot of work to do to get back up there, but I'm sure he can pull it off. But we will focus now on Noah and Peter, as they are 0.8 of a second off of each other. 0.6 of a second off of each other. And now Noah 1.5 seconds off of Verstappen. This is proving to actually be a more entertaining race than Season 5 in Netherlands. It's absolutely maddening. But Verstappen pits, which shoots Noah back up to P2, Peter to P3. Now all Peter has to focus on is potentially going for the overtake on Noah. He tried to hit it round the inside, but Noah closed it off just successfully. Nicely defended by Noah there. But I'm sure Peter will go again. Ian back up to P6 here. He is 0.3 seconds off. Actually, I should be flicking onto Noah and Peter here. Ian down in P6, he will make his way back up, but Peter right on the back of Noah here, as Ian manages to go on the inside and get ahead of Perez here. Nicely done by Ian, but we're going to drop on down to Peter here, who is is on the back still of Noah. 0.2 of a second off of him. 0.3 of a second off of him. He's going to have, I'm sure, a bit of work to get past him. Noah again, can massively defend when he wants to, but will Noah be able to hold it off? It's going to be close here. We do have 21 laps left of this race, so still a long time left to go. But as Noah told me, this is a two-stopper. But Peter, round the outside, I believe, gets the overtake up to P2, and now it's in his domain to hold it. But will Noah strike back? He has a while left to go, including 21 laps left to go. So still a lot of time for Noah to come back. But as we saw last time, Peter, as soon as he gets ahead in that P2 position, he flicks that ERS mode, and that's it. Noah just has to work his butt off to get ahead, and it is so difficult because Peter is such a brilliant racer. Noah will ultimately have his work cut out for him, but we do have our grid numbers back in order again. George P1, Peter P2, Noah P3, and Ian in P4 here. I told you, people, it's going to be one of those races where our four drivers are put back into the same position. Pit, again, overtakes, put back in the same position. I could see this legitimately being the finish order. 20 laps left of this race to go. There's a lot left, people. But this could be, if this stays like this, as, you know, I said it probably will, this could be a massive title challenging race. Title challenging race, not title deciding, but you get what I mean. Title challenging race for the RBs, for Georgia Peter, and if they can ultimately turn up more and more to these races, we could be seeing either a one-time in Peter or a two-time in George. There's a lot left to race for in these. What? I can't even do maths. 15 races left. Oh my word, Peter's gone off. That was such a delayed reaction. But Noah up to P2 now. Peter, I don't even know what happened. He just drove off. Maybe his wheel locked up or something, I don't know. But that has given Noah just breathing air for once. Time just to recalibrate, think of his plan. He's now 1.9 seconds. Peter putting the hammer down. It's almost like it's become hammer time for Peter here. Yes, I know, Hamilton fans, you're saying that's only for Hamilton, okay? I apologise, but, basically, it's the same, okay? Peter has to go hammer time now. That is as simple as, will Noah be able to hold that P2 position? That would definitely be massive for Noah if he can hold that P2 position, because I don't think, unless something was to happen to George today, that he catches up to George. I mean, yes, George will still have to stop. This is a two-stop race, but George will have, it's currently 9.5 seconds off. He has just a lot of the race just to sort of lay back, chill, not worry about, potential threats. It's only when he pits he really has to put the work in. It is unfortunate that we could only have 4 drivers here today, people. Otherwise, this could be a totally different race. But nevertheless, it is what it is. Peter is now gaining on Noah. 1.2 seconds off of Noah here. Noah still, again, going to have to go the absolute Ministry of Defence, like Checo Perez in 21, where he absolutely defended Hamilton off. And potentially, I wouldn't say he's a reason Hamilton's champion, because obviously that's not. Whoa, that's wrong. I got my wording wrong. I apologise. I meant Verstappen champion. I'm more of a Verstappen fan anyway. There's a reason why Verstappen's champion, but because that's quite safety car-ish. But nevertheless, it definitely helped. Anyway, Noah, as I said, has to go Ministry of Defence because he's now has a 0.5 second gap between him and Peter. That is still closing down. Peter is giving the absolute fight of his life to catching up, and you can tell their batteries are completely different. Somehow Peter is just gaining and his battery just isn't depleting, but he went a little wide there. He's gonna have to be very careful, but he's right on the back of Noah here, looking potentially to get that overtake. But Noah pulling off the no, that's straight line mode, I think. With the usually when those potentially trying around the inside, but Noah closes it off there. Nice defending by Noah, but how long will this hold out here? George pits now. What will Noah do? Will Noah pit as well here? Surely Noah does, but pit around the inside up to P2, and Noah doesn't pit here. Peter goes up to P1, Noah in P2, and George pits down into P3. Will it be P4? No, it won't. Ian is so far behind that George will stay in that P3 position. He built up that time and it has worked out beautifully in his favour. But what tyres are we looking at now? Noah on 9 lap old mediums. Peter on 8 lap old hards. You know, Peter still will have a while with those hards. I think Noah could potentially will be able to stretch out those mediums. It's weird that, you know, George has pitted now, unless he went on softs before and I didn't realise. That could potentially be, but is he really going for a no, surely not a three-stop race. Really? Mediums, they won't last the extra, what? Not 17 laps? Is that? I think that is 17 laps left to go. Yeah, it is 17 laps left to go. They won't last 17 laps, surely. I mean, there's potential there, but I don't see it. I just don't see it happening, but we shall see what happens, obviously. Now, straight line mode, activate for Noah, but he is just dropping time here. 1.4 seconds now. Peter holding that P1 position out front, I'm sure, until George comes and reclaims it. George now, I'm sure, will become the hunter of Noah, and that is not a position that Noah likes. Trust me, as I've said in previous seasons, he prefers to be the hunter. But this season is a different ball game to last season. The level has gone up and Noah will have to adapt and survive if he is going to push for the championship. And he has said himself, look, the championship probably won't happen this season for him. It's more likely to go George, Peter or Joe's way. But there is still always the potential for a Noah 2-time, and I will not count him out because I will be honest. When he popped into, you know, his rookie season last season, I wasn't 100% confident he was going to win it, but he proved me massively wrong, and I mean massively wrong. I knew he was good, but I wasn't sure. I knew, you know, with Preston it was going to be a challenge, but again, massively wrong. But it is what it is. But George still closing that time now, 2.4 second gap. However, Noah pits with 15 laps left to go, a 1:12.325 set. Fastest lap here for George now. Obviously going for those 27 points potentially if he can pull in front of Peter. But hopefully we see a great battle here. Ian pulls in front of Noah. I haven't really focused on Ian today, but it's just been sort of that way, unfortunately. He got into P4. His sort of gaps have, you know, grown between him and Noah or him and Peter, whatever. And it is what it is. But he is up to P3 here. Noah down to P5. So we will see that battle commence between Ian and Noah here. And it's going, I'm sure, to be a good battle. But round the outside for Noah here. On Verstappen. Up to P4. What tyre is Ian on? 11 lap old hard. Surely those should last a while longer. I would think maybe, I don't know, maybe another 4 laps, potentially 5 laps could get out of them. But then you would have to be, how many times has he stopped? He's only stopped once. George and Noah both stopped 2 times. But I reckon George might stop one more time unless he can just massively push those tyres to the end. I'm not too sure, to be fair. I mean, you've got 14 laps left of this race. It's going to be close, people. And I hope you stick around to find out. But we now have a 12-second gap between Ian and George. I don't think that's getting closed down anytime soon. But the 5.2-second gap between Noah and Ian, I'm sure will be getting closed down. As I really do want to see that battle. We haven't seen it much this season. Ian and Noah ultimately being two different sides of the grid, unfortunately, this season, not being close to each other. But we could finally see a battle that was really good in Season 5, reignited here in Season 6. We shall see what happens. But now, George gaining on Peter here, 2.4 second gap. It seems like everyone's a bit separated currently. You know, we've got, obviously 14 laps after this race, so a lot of time left for people to gain. But will Peter shoot it into this? Surely at some point, Peter will have to pit. I mean, he's on 11 lap old hards. It's fair, if Ian can survive 11 lap old hards, then I'm sure Peter can. But we shall see how far Ian and Peter are willing to push their hard tyres. And I'm sure they will push it as far as they humanly can. And it will be interesting, people. But, as I was saying, we're going to look to the future, people. The next race, I can confirm to you, is the one and only Singapore. And I can also confirm to you the current drivers turning up for that race being Joe, Jamie, Noah and Ian. George is a maybe. Peter also, I'm pretty sure, a maybe. There is no word on Peter yet, but he is a maybe. But nevertheless, it's going to be a good one, so I hope you all stick around here. But I believe I see a bit of team orders going on here. Peter letting George in front. Team orders was pulled, received and granted by Peter. Wow. Maybe clearly showing, they both know that George is the quicker one. If he, fresher tyres as well, he can push it. And also, in pushing it, he also pulls Peter away from Noah and Ian as well. So there is a plus side to both of this here. But we're going to drop on down. Bro, it's happened again. It's happened again. It's happened again. What is this? Last season, right? We were about halfway through the race, okay? Noah stormed it, chasing Preston. As I said, he had an insane setup. If you haven't watched it, it was literally, they were coming up to pits. Noah was right behind him. I was thinking, finally, we had no, by then we had no player-on-player overtakes. And, I was thinking, finally we're going to have a player-on-player overtake here. Preston darts it into the pits. You do not know how devastated I was that race. Not to see a we saw no player-on-player overtakes. The two overtakes were a player on an AI. That's all I saw. And what I saw there, what I wanted was a final battle between Ian and Noah. Finally, they barely have been together this entire race, this entire season so far. Peter also pitting following Ian's potential example there. And then Ian goes into pits and I'm like, no, it's happened again. 2 seasons in a row. Are you kidding me? But will Peter, anyway, diverting attention, Noah goes ahead of Peter here, up to P2. And we have 11 laps left of this race, people. It's going to be close on whether Peter can get the overtake and that P2 position off of Noah. Noah will have to go like an absolute madman here, and he's on 4 lap old hards, whilst Peter being on those new mediums. Oh my word, this is about to get intense, people, so I hope you're buckled in. I hope you're sticking around, staying around, got notifications on, like the video, subscribe if you're new, because it's about to get interesting, I'm sure of it. But Ian's slowly making his way up. P9 position here. I'm sure he will build his way back up to that P4 position. He's got 11 laps to do so, so I'm sure it's coming. But we are going to go on up here because I don't want to miss the action when it happens. As soon as Peter potentially catches up tonight, that gap is already going down. We're at 3.3 second, 3.2 second. That gap is slowly making its way down. We have 10 laps left of this race, people. We're in the end game now, as a certain franchise, would like to say, a certain character. We're in the end. I already said that. Why am I repeating myself? That's such an awesome quote. I've now spoiled it by repeating myself. Don't ever repeat yourself, people. It completely disvalues it. Ian up to P7 now, due to pits, making his way back up slowly. Peter though, 3.1 second gap, almost into the 2.9 second gap here. He is slowly making that gap go down. Again, with 10 laps left of this race here, he is showing that he is going for it. But George now, at the back markers, slowly going through, and of course I've turned off griefing for I've disabled ghosting for collisions now. So it's now the fact that, you know, drivers that reach the back markers actually now have to go around them now, instead of, you know, just, you know, ghosting through them, which, you know, seems to, you know, make it a bit more interesting at least. 9 laps after this race, and slowly but surely Peter is gaining on Noah here. I don't know if Noah's going to be able to hold this off. I mean, actually, here we go. Verstappen and Russell pitting, which will shoot Ian back up to P5 now, with only one person in his way here. How many stops are we talking? Norris also stopping, which means I was looking, I was like, I didn't read it. Ian's back up to P4 here. And such a big gap between him and Verstappen, and obviously him and Peter. I think he will comfortably, unless something happens, touch wood it doesn't, he will comfortably stay P4 here today. So, the only battle that really truly matters here today, people, is the one of Noah versus Peter. This is what your highlight reel is going to be all about here today, and that at least has actually gave me something interesting. Like, it's brilliant when you actually have something to commentate. Like, it's insane. You can actually talk during these videos. Like, what a surprise. I know, right? 8 laps after this race. Currently, a 1 second gap between Noah and Peter. Peter charging down that straight. And I'm sure their batteries are actually similar. Noah using the same strategy as Peter here. Has he figured out what Peter was doing? And is he actually going to be able to pull this off for himself? Because Peter is a brilliant quick driver himself, but Noah also has pace about him. You cannot count Noah out, but Peter, you cannot deny, is a brilliant fast driver. This battle will be insane, and I hope it's good. I hope it's backwards and forwards, ever changing, not just Peter gets in front and then we're done. If that happens, of course, which, you know, potentially Noah could stay in front here. That is, you know, a clear possibility. But now 0.5 of a second separate Noah and Peter here. Will Peter be able to find that gap? George is... I told you he was going for a free stop today. Will Noah be able to get ahead of George, or is RB just single-handedly Peter around now, the outside of Noah, up to P1? And I believe RB have just pulled off what might be the single-handedly greatest manoeuvre they could have pulled off today. George now is no longer so separated from Peter and Noah. He is right behind him, which will put pressure on Noah, keep Peter in front. If George goes P2, could we see a second Peter win here today? I mean, George is 1-1, Peter is 1-1. So both of them, 27 points to their name. I'm sure both of them would love to have a win, but we saw team orders getting pulled earlier. Is that because they were setting up for a Peter win, or was the plan always to have George in that P1 position? Either way, they've got such a team game here that Noah is absolutely outnumbered. He is squashed in. I'm telling you, it's like Season 5 all over again. It wasn't Season 5 in Netherlands, but it is Season 5 nonetheless. When you had 2 Saubers, first and third, and you had Noah in that second place, squashed in the middle. I'm telling you, people, this might just be the biggest masterclass they've ever pulled. But George, round the outside, switching to the inside. Nicely done. He pulled a fake out, and he's up to that P2 position. Noah, none the wiser. Not something I thought I'd ever say about Noah, but here we are. Noah, once again, none the wiser. George up to P2. But now Noah will be targeting the back of that RB of George. But we know George's pace here. However, Noah is actually somewhat, would you say, are we seeing team orders played here again? For the second time today, team orders has been pulled and George is up in front. Oh my word. Peter does not want that win. He is more focused on securing this team than 1-2 and making sure George wins than allowing himself more points in his championship. They are actually going for, is this going to be what it's going to be like for the whole season? Because as we know, as I've said previously many times, I said it today, I've said it in past races as well, all throughout last season as well, and to be fair, ever since season 1 I've been saying it, because obviously Preston was in season 1 to 5, and obviously now, you know, Noah and George here. The 2-time is still unclaimed. If this is how it's going to work out for the rest of the season, with team orders being pulled every single race, we could be seeing George as a 2-time champion. But you cannot forget when the other Merc turns up, being Joe, when Joe actually does turn up to these races, and we potentially have 2 Mercs and 2 RBs, what a battle that's going to be. I physically cannot wait for that battle between the 2 Mercs and 2 RBs. You know, we are going to see not team orders, but team moves along the whole, between them both. And hopefully, you know, Haas, you know, even Ian gets a teammate. You know, again, I said that's a possibility. Jamie potentially getting a teammate as well. We do have other drivers here as well. You know, so there is that potential, you know, for other teams to come into it, although those guys were, you know, friends of Liam. Liam's left, so I'm not too sure about that. But, guys, I physically just, this could be an insane season for the teams. We could see massive team moves, potentially, but we shall see what happens. But it looks like...
No, not Arthur. Who invented that curb?
Has spun, but there was such a gap between him and Ian that he is not under threat. But he is now 12 seconds off of Peter. Peter and George are no longer under threat. People, like, at the end of the day, I think, again, I literally just said touch wood, nothing happens. But touch wood, nothing more happens. I genuinely... Oh my god, Peter's pitting. What is going on? Peter is pitting with 3 laps left of this race. And a new win going on as well, which has held him up. Ian is going to swing past him as well. 3 laps left of this race. Oh my word. I was just saying how this race is RBs. You know, there's going to be a clear 1-2 here. And both the RBs have said, you know, 2 stops ain't enough. Let's push it 1 further. Let's go 3 stops. Let's have some fun here. I've only just noticed Peter's gone on 10-lap on mediums. And he's fixed his wing. Have RB just potentially thrown away a chance at securing potentially first place in Constructors today? Because I genuinely think it was a possibility today. But now Noah is in map P2 and Peter is down in P4 with such a massive gap between him and Noah. I don't see how. I mean, that gap is growing between him and Ian. What on earth? I legitimately have no words. 2 laps left of this race. 2 laps left of this race. No, there were 3 laps left of this race. Pierre could have sailed on home to that P2 position. RB were comfortable. And Pierre decided, you know what? I'm going to throw this P2 away. And I'm going to go on those 10 lap old mediums. I physically do not understand. I cannot fathom what Peter is thinking. I just physically cannot. Let me know in the comments down below what you think Peter was going for today. Was it just, well, potentially maybe he looked at it like a bit of fun. Maybe he didn't expect that, you know, the tyres he was going to go on were going to be so bad. Or maybe he made a mistake. Not going into it, so that can't be a mistake, but mistake in the tyres he chose. Maybe he didn't realise the wing damage was there as well, and yeah, there's so many possibilities. I just physically have no words at all. As we start the last lap of this race, we're going to flick on over to George, because I do not think anything is going to happen anymore. Touch wood, nothing serious happens. I just don't get it. Why would Peter throw away a 1-2 just to pit and get P4? I mean, I get that, like, you know, we only had 4 drivers and, you know, it's a bit of fun and stuff, but, like, seriously? I don't get it. I don't understand the madness, but it is what it is, people, and we are coming up to the finish line of this race, people. We are now in Sector 3. We're coming around the final corner here, people, as George comes round to take his 2nd win of the season in the Netherlands Grand Prix. What a brilliant, dominant race George has had, with no challenge whatsoever, with no, just nothing. It's just absolutely flown it. I don't honestly know what to say, but it just shows his dominance. Noah comes home to P2 because Pierre decided to pit with 3 laps left to go. I'm still bamboozled, but nonetheless, Ian takes a P3 due to that pit, and Peter what? What? And here we are with the podium of today. George claims his 2nd win of season 6. Noah to his left in P2. Ian to his right in P3. Ian's 2nd podium of season 6. Showing things potentially title challenging. But I believe Noah and Ian have Peter here to thank today for their higher positions. I physically don't is this just, I am honestly bamboozled. I hope you guys enjoyed in case we get no leaderboard. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, tap that little button so you never miss another video, and we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.